Hello and welcome to coverage of today's practice session from a very wet Albert Park. We can but hope that the weather doesn't deter the teams from running their usual programmes, and we're just a few moments away from the green light.
That's fantastic. You obviously have a really good understanding of this circuit. Fuel is marginal. We're close to using up the load. Pit in within 2 laps. Right, that's the end of the program. Box this lap so we can analyze the data. Box this lap. Okay then, that's the end of the program and plenty of useful data. Return to base when you can so we can go over it.
Quick look at the classification at the end of the session then. Here are your top 3. Ricciardo, Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. That concludes an interesting practice session. Let's hope for more excitement as the weekend unfolds.
Hi, just letting you know that we've had the team's expectations through for the upcoming qualifying session.
Welcome to Melbourne, where qualifying for the Australian Grand Prix should be getting underway shortly. This is the kind of track that eats rear tyres for breakfast, or so I'm told by more experienced drivers than myself.
No matter how good a driver is at managing their throttle application to limit rear slip, they can't always overcome a car that's inherently bad at looking after its rear tyres. Here we have a lot of low-speed corner exits, which means a whole load of energy, heat and tyre wear.
So qualifying is complete and we're all set for an exciting race tomorrow. Your top three are a Ferrari, Raikkonen and Daniel Ricciardo. The grid is set then, so that just leaves the race itself. Join us tomorrow, where we'll be live with all the action. And until then, it's goodbye.
Hi, guess who? I've seen the team's expectations for the race, so I thought I'd pass them on and wish you luck. Take care.
They say that even a second is an eternity in Formula One, so going 4 winter months with no racing at all has seemed a very long time indeed. We're back though in Melbourne, home of the Australian Grand Prix since 1996. We go racing today then in the state of Victoria, where the drivers have 16 corners and 3.3 miles to navigate at an average lap speed of around 120 miles an hour. The close proximity of the barriers makes accidents inevitable, and recent history shows us that a safety car is not at all out of the question. I'm joined again today by none other than Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, obviously there's a lot of development work that goes on with these cars between the races. You've been both a test driver and a race driver. What differences are there in the way you approach those roles?
Interesting question, Crofty. They're two very different mindsets. I mean, when I tested for BAR, we had full in-season testing where, per driver, you'd cover up to 15,000 kilometres per season. And in that role, it was more about working for the team, trying to help them improve the car and drive as systematically as you could, so that that data could be analysed in the most consistent way. When you're lining up on the grid for a race, however, your frame of mind's all about what you can get out of the situation on that day, and the car's the tool to help you achieve what you want. You still want to focus on setup, of course, but it's more about the here and now, getting yourself as far up the field as possible, and less about development work for the future.
Okay, we got pole. Now let's get the double with the race win.
We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. It's Ferrari in pole position then, and Kimi Raikkonen completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Ricciardo, Verstappen, Nico Rosberg, and Hamilton, Grosjean, Bottas, Hülkenberg, and Sergio Perez, Button, Kvyat, Fernando Alonso, and Massa, Sainz, Gutierrez, Kevin Magnussen, and Jolyon Palmer, Wehrlein, and Ericsson. Rio Haryanto and Felipe Nasser starts from the back of the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
this is your final lap of the race. Absolutely fantastic. It's a brilliant result. Well done.
Great effort there from Ferrari to take the victory today. And I have to wonder, Anthony Davidson, just what set them apart from the competition here.
Well, I think the track conditions just really suited their car today. Wind, track temperature, you name it. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature. So the more easily you can keep them there, the better your race tends to go. And that's exactly what happened. Their car just looks so comfortable out there.
And as we can see, it's time for the podium. And as the drivers make their way out, there's a familiar red suit making its way to the top step. Fantastic win for Ferrari. And after this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table. We see a new name at the top of the championship table as we reach the end of the Grand Prix weekend. Now then, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
Well, it's got to be Felipe Massa, hasn't it? He fought so hard and had incredible pace at times. I don't think anyone did a better job today.
And here's how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Ferrari moved to the top of the table. There'll be plenty more twists and turns to come this season. I hope you can join us at the next race to see just who will come out on top.